a big fan of the Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God has been that consistent, personality who's been kept on that show for the longest. The last time I remember, I have not had any other new name apart from Charlamagne the God on the Breakfast Club. In as much as there's been Jess Hilarious, initially it used to be Angela Yee who left, and then they brought in Jess Hilarious, who is not hilarious. And then they've added in, Lauren Lorosa, who as well is trying her best, and shout out to her because this girl has been grinding, and I love the fact that she calls herself the black girl grinding. But anyways, I want us to listen to an excerpt of an interview that Charlamagne the God had with Angie Martinez, who's also a very renowned broadcaster in the United States. And in the interview, in the sit down, Charlamagne is opening up about when he was beginning his career in his formative years, how Wendy Williams, of course, he was a co-host with the Wendy Williams on Wendy Williams when they're beginning. I don't know in what radio station, but yeah, it's an interesting story. So listen to some of the things he said about how Wendy Williams made him her attack dog, especially when it comes to the interviews and getting deeper and extracting the juice and just the pizzazz out of the guest. Listen to it, and then I'm gonna give you my final verdict.
Columbia at the time. I think Columbia's market number 93.
Jesus.
To go from market number 93 to market number 1 being Wendy Williams co-host, like who gets that kind of look? Like that's some stuff you see in a movie, or you watch on a TV show and be like, yo, that's damn near impossible.
You would have probably done anything she told you to do, right?
But
Well, not
I was like, yo, I did do damn near anything she told me to do. Like, yes. Like, yeah, I was her attack dog. Like, not only that, I was living with her, like living with them. Like they were giving me a
Wow.
place to stay. I wasn't getting paid. I didn't get paid for like a year and a half. But I do that though. And that's why I always tell the next generation, recognize opportunity when there's not a paycheck attached to it.
Yeah.
Because you can't put a price on that kind of opportunity. Like it's like, yo, we want you up here to be her co-host, but we can't pay you. All right,
Eesh.
I'm out. I gotta figure it out. Take that first step, even if you don't see the rest of the staircase.
To go back to the thing about you changing your life and your wife. What do you think? Why do you think she um, hung in there with you?
I have no idea. That goes back to what you're saying about the forgiveness. Like, you don't always have to forgive people. And if you do forgive them, you can still forgive them and move on and realize, like, nah, this person, that energy isn't for me. Like, that's the blessing, right? The blessing is when somebody forgives you, but they decide to still be in your life
Interesting.
in some way, shape, or form.
Interesting,
When somebody
interesting.
forgives you
Well,
and they're
in
like,
the
yo, but
I actually watched
that
the whole
energy, I
sit
don't want
down.
that
He
around me.
talks
That's
about when
when
the
it's like,
beginning
oh
up,
man,
when the early
we've
on in
been
the
together since
beginning
we
of the
was kids.
broadcast
Like,
careers.
we've been,
So
I think
Charlamagne
on
the
top
God
of
happened
everything
to
else,
be
we
a
actually
co-host with
friends.
Wendy Williams on one
And
of the radio
so
station, and
she knows
Wendy Williams was
me
known for her
for real. Like she
punchlines.
knows
Like
my heart
Wendy Williams was a
for real. She
shock
knows
joke.
who I
Even
am
the
for
TV show
real,
Wendy
for real. So she
Williams
was able
was a
to
shock
say,
joke
okay,
talk show
you
where
make
she just hits you with jabs and bullets, and I say it like you mean it, but served with sarcasm and just hot, pepper spice. So Wendy Williams was not that person you play with. So in the interview, Charlamagne the God is saying the reason why in some of those interviews he'd literally go against the grain with the guest and try to extract some things that maybe the guests were uncomfortable to talk about, or the guests were fearful, or maybe the management had said, oh, don't talk about this. So that's where Charlamagne the God would hit, because that's where that's where hot topics come from in the discussions. But remember, Wendy Williams was sharped a lot when it came to the hot, not even hot topics, the gossip landscape in television and radio. Wendy Williams is among, I say, the movers and the shakers and the trendsetters when it comes to gossip TV, gossip radio, the blogs and everything that you're seeing, even in talk shows right now. Wendy Williams was part of the people that curated that culture. So she will forever go down in history for that. And also one prominent thing that kept on cropping up is that conversation interview that Kelly Rowland had on the Breakfast Club, and Charlamagne the God had to be the attack dog that he was groomed to be by Wendy, which ended up eliciting so many controversial sentiments, especially with Kelly Rowland, who they are saying she's the sweetest of the sweetest, because Kelly Rowland was a part of Destiny's Child and whatnot as well. The recent interview, I think it was with, what is his name? Damon who? Yeah. And then the Tyler interview as well, where he had to go in and ask Tyler about her race and whatnot. And from such things is when you'd see that an artist is being blackballed, or a narrative is being formed up against them, and they end up being thrown off the record label, or just being cancelled. So I get it why. But also, what you need to understand, even from experience as a radio and a TV broadcaster, is that media uses people's pain and trauma. So you are likely to be the best radio presenter if you have a dysfunctional marriage, you're gay, your parents rejected you and abandoned you, and you carry that anger and resentment. They want to use that as a medium to channel, their agenda and the heartbeat and pulse, and even the conversations of the radio station. There's something called house style. It's what editors use, and the media, it's a modus operandi for all these, broadcasting corporations. So I perfectly get that, and I've been there to myself. But I've never been mean and shady to my guests. But I'd really watch some of my interviews. I can go there too, but not in a mean, shady kind of way where I'm reading you for filth. No, I'll just corner you with facts and counter facts, and that will just keep the conversation open ended and going, but not like to shade you, to shut you, to dismiss you, diminish you. No, nada. I don't do that. And I get it. I get it. He's now, confessing that Wendy Williams met him, her attack dog, and that's why the nastiness and that's what broadcast corporation, I said the broadcast corporate space loves, especially for on-air personalities. That's what they want on the air, because it elicits conversations, reactions, agendas, narratives, and then it just careens into something ridiculous and crazy, and these wildfires. And I think that's what the Wendy Williams Foundation was built from. But anyways, what do you like about Charlamagne the God? Recently, they said he signed a $200 million contract, with one of the biggest franchises. I can't wait to see how it goes. But yeah, I read Charlamagne the God's books. In the interview, he even spoke. He talks about being homeless for a year and a half and being given a place to live with by the Wendy Williams family. So it's incredible to see. He's talking about resilience.